Hi guys, I'm Mark Larson, and in today's episode of the Frozen Woodworker, we are going to repair this broken breadboard. The Frozen Woodworker is a production of Frostbite Furniture, and today is brought to you by the customer that had the broken breadboard. Okay, a lot of you guys have had these kind of breadboards in your homes or in the kitchen cabinets a lot of times. They are real wonderful. They'll slide out and provide you a place to slice some bread. A lot of people just put them up on the counter. But they often have these little joints here that will fail. The joints are made with a router going in there. It's kind of a version of a tongue and groove. It creates a V in one side and opposite version of the V on the other side. And when they go together, they work fine, but then eventually that joint will fail. So I'd like to show you a quick and simple way how to fix this today. For this repair, you'll need, of course, the broken breadboard. I also like to have a chisel handle. It's particularly an old one. Don't use one of your best chisels on this one because sometimes it can get a little rusty and you're a little hard on this. I like to have a small glue brush. We are going to be using a waterproof glue. I like to use Type Bond 3, but you can use any waterproof glue. A couple of clamps for when you put it back together, a rag, and some vinegar. Now, sometimes it's nice to heat up the vinegar first, but I like to use it. I'm going to use it cold on this application because it'll work just fine. Now, you might be kind of wondering what we're going to use the vinegar for, but we're going to use it as a solvent to get rid of some of this old glue. Vinegar works pretty well, especially, like I said, it works a little better warm. But one of the reasons I like to use it to dissolve the glue on something like this is vinegar is food safe, and a lot of our solvents are not food safe. Obviously, this is a breadboard, and it will see some food. So therefore, we got to keep everything food safe. First thing I'm going to do is clamp this in here like so I can work on it. And very simple. I keep my vinegar. It's just regular household vinegar, but I keep it in a spray bottle for easy use. But you get a little vinegar in there. It's just vinegar, so don't worry about it. Get it wet. Let's get a little vinegar on the male side of the piece here also. Now, it's not like the vinegar will go and take the glue and make it all of a sudden complete mush. But it will soften it just enough to make the job easier. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a chisel now to kind of scrape away some of that glue and paying especially close attention at making it so that the surface in the male side of the V and the female side of the V match up again. Okay, now that that's all cleaned up, and obviously I sped it up for you, but even in real time, this whole project of scraping out only took, I don't know, maybe 3-4 minutes. But anyway, now we go ahead, we'll take our waterproof glue. Like I said, I like Type Bond 2, but there are some other alternatives you could use. Also, you could use an epoxy on this, and sometimes I would, but it's not really necessary, and a lot of times it's just a lot more mess and a lot more fuss than it's really worth. So I take the Type Bond, run a small bead all the way across, and here's a little tip if you want a tip on this video. I buy these cheap like ketchup and mustard containers. I get them at Sam's Club, and I use these for my glues, and it seems to work really well. Even without putting a cap on it, it'll just kind of dry over the top and make a little kind of a cap. You pick it off, throw it away, and you have a really fine line glue applicator for really cheap. But anyway, then you take the brush and make sure you got all the surfaces on here with just a little bit of glue. And don't be cheap with the glue. You don't have to get it all like gobbing out all over the place, but you also don't have to be too sparing on the glue because you can always sand it off after. You can only sand so much on this side because this obviously is finished and you don't want to get that finish off. But on this side, well, it's an unfinished surface anyhow, so if you want to sand it a little bit, that's fine. And I was already planning on giving that a light sand for the customer, just to dress it up for them and touch it up. But anyway, we got that on there. We'll take our clamps, and I'm going to do it right in the vise like this because I'm going to be gone for the next few hours, so it doesn't matter if this is right in the middle of everything. Put a little clamping pressure on there. We want to make sure that it is lined up nice. Oh, too much. Like that. Take this other bite, or other clamp, put it on the other side. And you don't have to go crazy with this because it's not like there's going to be a ton of force on this afterwards anyhow. It's a pretty small joint, so you only need so much force. You do have to clamp it. You can't, every once in a while you hear somebody trying to get away without clamping it, and that's not a good idea. You gotta clamp the stuff. And I'm gonna look at something. This seems to be ever so slightly off, and I wonder if this breadboard was originally designed so that the grooves were opposite of each other. One on the top, one on the bottom. That may be the case. And that really seems to be the case. Obviously my phone is ringing, but if you ever call me and I don't answer the phone, sometimes it's because I'm in the middle of a glue up. And I generally don't answer the phone or go and do much of anything when I'm in the middle of a glue up. Because I don't want that glue to get too hard or, I don't know. It's just one of those things when you're kind of in the middle of it, you don't want to stop until you're done. And I figure if it's really important, somebody will call me 2 or 3 times. And I don't hear the phone ringing yet, so it must not be really important. I can get to it in a few minutes and that'll be fine. Okay, now we got some nice clamping pressure on there. I will take a straight edge, double check that it is straight, which it is, and all I'm doing when I put the straight edge up against it, you can probably see it better on this side, is I hold, it's got a little bit of a ever so slight here, but it's because of the contour here. I just hold the straight edge up against the face of the board and check to see if there's if this is kind of curved or kittywampus one way or the other. If it is, you can just tweak it over. Then I don't normally do this way, but on this one, I'm going to give that a ever so light scrape to get rid of the little bit of glue squeeze out. Just because, like I said, there's a finished surface there that I don't want to mess with afterwards. And there you have it. I let that sit for a few hours, and that will be good to go. I'm going to give this a little light sand to get rid of some of the cut marks that are in this board from being used over time. And I'll probably give it a real light oil with a cutting board finish before I return it to the customer. But other than that, this is good to go. The customer will be able to use it again. And that's all it takes to it. So if you have one of these breadboards and the ends falls off or something really similar, one of the easiest, simplest, cleanest ways to get the old glue out, and you do got to get that glue out, otherwise the new glue doesn't always stick as well, or sometimes it'll hold it out a little bit, is to use a little vinegar. Just ordinary household vinegar that'll soften up that glue, make it really easy to clean out, and then I'll use something sharp. I use a chisel. You know, if you're not a woodworker and you don't have chisels around, you could probably even do it, maybe not quite as well, but you could do it with a flathead screwdriver or something. But I use a chisel, and that's what I'd recommend. and then put the glue on it, clamp it up, and you're good to go. Well, that's all we got for you today. I'm Mark Larson, and please subscribe. Please click and subscribe to our channel. Like this video. We love likes. We love subscribers. And you guys have a good day. All right. Bye-bye.